Money and wealth are things we don't talk about much in Asian culture. So let's get personal about how Asian Americans feel about money, wealth, and finances.
I mean, I saved because I wasn't gonna get any allowance, so
Right.
whatever of my own spending money that I could have was gonna be there. So I was very mindful of how I used it. But then at the same time, obviously we didn't have an allowance because our parents provided, everything that we needed, which is what, this is how they showed their love to us, right? So, yeah, like the idea of saving really came from, learning from our parents telling us, hey, be mindful of how you spend, and also watching them and how they spend. So obviously, like a lot of frugality, in Asian cultures and stuff. So that's kind of where I guess picked up my sensibilities towards finance.
Yeah, and Helen, you worked in finance for a number of years too, so I imagine you'll be passing down some financial tips or like just kind of like values when it comes to wealth and money. Like, what are some of those lessons you want to pass down to your son?
I mean, I think for me with our son, the way that I was, raised with money is, I think, very similar to you. It's like I didn't have an allowance either, which I think was actually pretty rare for like amongst our friend groups. I would always hear people say like, oh, I only had $20 a week to spend. And for me, my parents were always like, how much money do you need this week? Do you want to go out with your friends? Do you want to go watch a movie? Do you want to? And it was always in a very giving mentality. But thinking back, I never really said yes to when they had asked for me, and it's because I could see how hard they worked for their money, and I didn't want to take that away from them to go spend it on something that's just like for fun. And so I think with our son, what I also want to do is instill this value of like, my money is your money. I will always support you financially and otherwise, and have it be a very like unconditional love type of situation, and that goes the same for like how we spend money as well. And so I hope that that is how we can raise him one day, instead of putting a limit on how much he can get. Do you agree with that? I don't think we've ever talked about that.
No, I mean, it's all about a balance, right? Like, we do want him to know that we got his back.
Right.
Like, don't worry about things, but at the same time, like how you were as a kid, like, also understand the value of this. That it's not just unlimited for you to just be, like frivolous with. Like understand the weight of what this is, and be smart about it.
What's been the most valuable lesson you've learned when it comes to managing your own money?
I don't have a good answer for that. I'm still figuring that out, honestly. Like, it's weird. It's so rudimentary, and like perhaps not a very sophisticated way of thinking. But I'm just like, just make more. Like as long as you're just trying to make more, like then you don't have to worry. So just always just try to make more. Like, but obviously, like, yeah, there's much more nuance in that.
Yeah. I would say that as a creative, and what's very different from just working in corporate is just how unsteady the paycheck can be, or how volatile it can be. And it could be really good one way. It could be really like, oh my gosh, like, are we okay? Like, what do we have to adjust and shift to make everything work? And that is definitely a different lifestyle for me.
Yeah, I guess I've never had a corporate
to
steady
really
paycheck. I've
have a benchmark against what you're doing.
I went straight
right?
from like hourly barista to, all right, we're just gonna go try to make this business happen.
Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah.
A lot of it comes down to what type of lifestyle you want to live. So some people they have to have like that sense of security. They know exactly where next month's going to be, or have an idea of where it's going to be.
And I think also as a parent and sort of an entrepreneur, it does take a lot of discipline for us to really figure out how much energy we want to put into our careers or our family, because obviously we want to be able to build for our family, and that requires working, but at the same time we don't want to miss out on anything with our child. So it is definitely a balance that I guess as new parents and as entrepreneurs, that's something that we go through.
Yeah.
With all of this and all the work that you do, how would you define wealth?
I would say wealth, I think a lot of times people can just see that word, and by dictionary terms, maybe it depends on how much financial success you've gained. But when I think about wealth for myself, I think about abundance. It's like, it's going to look different for each person, but what is important to you and what do you want to have a lot of? And for me, having a wealthy life, at least for this season of my life, would be having a lot of time with family while also doing something that I love and am passionate about, which is my Asian Boss Girl, my company. So being able to balance both of those for me would make me wealthy. Yeah.
That's nice.
Yeah. How about you? Financial success. I just want to work hard to make all the money I can.
I definitely think after having a kid, it's changed your perspective of how much time you want to spend on trying to build your own self up in your career. Like obviously, like we haven't lost those goals, but just wanting to spend more time with him and be there for him and not literally not miss a moment.
For more stories for and by the next generation of the Asian diaspora, visit coldteacollective.com. And thanks to our partners at US Bank for helping us bring these stories to life. Because every generation deserves an opportunity to achieve their dreams.